those questions in that way. So I'll click on pool, and this time I'll call it pool 4, I think. Yep. So I'll build a pool. So this will be pool 4. So pool 4 is what I will use later on. So I need to remember these names for my own usage, which I will link when I create the so in pool 4, so what did I just do? I clicked on the pools, I created a pool. Now I'm looking for questions. I'm not going to go and make them one by one. I don't want to upload it. What I will do is find the questions. And the questions will be in the test that I just made called final exam, which is right there. So I clicked on the test, so I had to scroll down, right? Because they often minimized, see? So what I did was I went to the tests here, clicked on it, went to final exam, and then I saw all these questions. So I'm going to click on this so I can see all the questions there, and then submit. So I had to select the questions that I needed, and then I will submit. If I wanted to, I could also highlight these other tests to get extra questions from there. But I think these questions are specific to this particular course, so I don't want to change the questions here. And they tell me where the source of the questions are also. This is from the final exam. Remember we created that earlier? Okay, so I'm going to submit this. And then once I've done that, it's just one more step. I'm going to change the points here so that it's 1 point per question once again. I'm going to update that. And I know it's 1 point per question because it shows me the total number of questions and the total number of points. So I can tell that in this pool I have this number of questions with the same number of points. Now, after I've done that, I'm going to click on OK. So I've got my questions ready to be uploaded into Blackboard. These are 22 questions, right? So now in my going back to my course, remember we created this final exam folder. It's in here that we want the students to see the exam. So this is where we will deploy the exam. So I'm going to click on test and go and create the test. And here we will call it the final exam. Final exam, give the instructions in the description here, and submit. Once I've submitted this, what's going to happen is, again, I need to create a random block. The random block I'm going to create will be from the pool that we just created. So I'm going to click on pool 4 and select maybe all the questions without selecting anything from the different types of questions we have, and submit. Because we only have one type of question in there, which was multiple choice. There should be 22 questions here. So now here it says 10 points, you see. So what I want to do is select everything. Again, make sure I've got 1 point per question. And then allocate the number of questions that I'm going to give them, which would be 10. And submit. So now I've created this particular exam. It's ready. I click on OK and I deploy this. See, now I have to be careful which exam to use it, right? If I deploy this now, then it means that I am letting the students take this exam on a specific date, and I will be describing what they need to do. I will want them to see the description. I want them to see the instruction, and I will make it available to students. And I will make them complete the exam, so I want to force completion. I'll set a timer for maybe 30 minutes, and it will auto submit. I'll display it on the date of the exam, so whatever the date of the exam is, if it's a GRC 112 or 111 exam, it will be at this date. But then the time is important, right? So you need to make sure you allocate that particular time correctly. So if it's from, say, 8 o'clock, which 8 o'clock? In the morning, in the evening. So from 8 o'clock until what? So I'll display until 10 o'clock. No need to select the password. The due date will probably be the same as your display date. So it will be the 28th. It will be for the same time as your due time, display time, sorry, until. So I would say 10 o'clock in the morning. Make sure this says 10 p.m. Okay. So now, and make sure you don't allow students to take the test again. Again, you want to randomize this, and you want to make sure they can't go back. So let's have another look. This is the test that we created. Okay. This is where you write the description. This is where you select the force completion, you set the timer, you display after, you display until, and you give the due date. Finally, you don't touch anything here. You randomize the questions and you prohibit backtracking. And that's it. And you click on submit. And this is how you create your test in Blackboard. Once you click on submit, you don't need to do anything. On this day, at this time, the exam will turn on by itself. So we selected 8 o'clock. And it will display until this date at this time. And after that time, on that day, because we selected this, the students can't take the test. So if you want them to take the test, you need to come in here again and uncheck this and uncheck that, uncheck this and uncheck that, and then click submit for the students to be able to see the test. And that's it.